Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to another episode of China Update, where I provide you with the most up-to-date political, economic, and geostrategic analysis on the world's #2 economy. My name is Tony. Let's jump in. As you can see, I am not where I usually film. I've just arrived in New Zealand. I'm a little bit jet-lagged, and I'm staying with a family friend. For the next 2 weeks, I will be filming on location at places like this. I hope you'll forgive the informality of some of these settings and perhaps suboptimal audio quality, but I am traveling on holiday, so I will need to film in locations like this. Now, before I begin, I wanted to note something. This family friend knows nothing about China, does not follow China at all. They recommended this location here to film, and there was a small item on the table that they have. This is a complete coincidence. It was not intentional on their behalf at all, but I just thought it was quite the coincidence. They have this little statue here. Let's begin. Elon Musk has drawn attention to the lack of reciprocity in the technology relationship between the United States and China, breaking his usual reserve on sensitive Beijing-related matters. The Tesla CEO's remarks followed a move by US President Donald Trump to potentially grant a reprieve to TikTok, the Chinese-owned video app that is facing a full US ban. Musk's comments represent a rare criticism from the billionaire, whose business interests heavily depend on the Chinese market. Musk stated on his social media platform X, formerly Twitter, that, quote, "something needs to change," end quote, criticizing the current state of affairs where TikTok operates freely in the United States, while platforms like X remain banned in China. Although he opposed banning TikTok on free speech grounds, Musk highlighted the asymmetry in market access, calling it, quote, unbalanced, end quote. This measured critique contrasts Musk's harsher criticisms of Western governments and his frequent involvement in domestic politics across various countries. However, it underscores the Tesla chief's dual challenge, balancing his ties with Beijing, a key production and sales hub for Tesla, while engaging with US policymakers. In the third quarter alone, nearly a quarter of Tesla's sales came from China, with the Shanghai plant exporting even more vehicles globally. Chinese officials appeared unfazed by Musk's comments. Mao Ning, a spokesperson for the Chinese Foreign Ministry, said that Beijing welcomed foreign companies abiding by its laws and expected similar treatment for Chinese firms abroad. Of course, most major US technology companies, from Google to Facebook to X, are banned in China. On Sunday, Musk met with China's Vice President Han Zheng, who represented General Secretary Xi Jinping at Donald Trump's inauguration. Han described US businesses as the, quote, backbone, end quote, of Sino-US relations and encouraged them to act as a bridge between the two nations. Next up, Taiwan's opposition-controlled parliament has frozen significant portions of the 2025 defense budget, raising concerns over its ability to address escalating security threats from the mainland. The move, coming just after US President Donald Trump's second-term inauguration, risks straining Taiwan-US relations at a critical juncture. Key freezes include half of the submarine program budget, 30% of military operations funding, and 1/3 of the allocation for a drone industrial park. Additionally, 16% of the Defense Ministry's publicity budget has been cut. Critics argue that this hampers Taiwan's military readiness and weakens its public messaging against Chinese cognitive warfare. Premier Zhuo Rongtai denounced the budgetary restrictions, warning that Taiwan's resolve to defend itself had been undermined. Defense officials highlighted potential setbacks in countering China's so-called grey zone tactics and developing essential drone capabilities, areas where Taiwan already lags behind. The opposition KMT, accused of aiding China's strategic aim, defends its actions as targeting inefficiencies in government spending. While the KMT advocates for cross-strait engagement, it denies being pro-Beijing and has pledged conditional support for defense spending increases. Despite a proposed 7.7% rise in Taiwan's defense budget for 2025, the spending only accounts for 2.45% of GDP, falling short of the 3% target recommended by US defense experts. Amid Beijing's growing military activity near Taiwan, the US maintains its policy of strategic ambiguity, with defensive commitments under the Taiwan Relations Act. However, frozen funds remain inaccessible until Taiwan's parliament approves their release, leaving its military in a precarious position. Next up, we have 2 more updates to cover, but just quickly, if you are getting some value from today's episode of China Update and you appreciate these extra videos I'm doing during my holiday here back home in New Zealand, I have a huge favor to ask. That is just 2 clicks of the mouse. Like and subscribe. Like I said, it's just 2 clicks, but it's a tremendous help for the channel. It is the only way in which it can grow and be shown to new people, keeping that algorithm happy. Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee links are also in the description for those who want to help keep China Update financially sustainable. Thank you so much. Now, let's continue. DeepSeek, the Chinese artificial intelligence AI firm, has emerged as a transformative player in the global AI landscape. Under the leadership of Liang Wenfeng, the company has gained prominence as a leader in open-source large language models, LLMs, marking a significant shift in AI development paradigms. This ascendancy was spotlighted during a recent Beijing symposium hosted by Premier Li Qiang, where Liang was among the distinguished experts contributing to China's future strategies. At the core of DeepSeek's success is its efficiency-driven approach, born out of necessity due to China's constrained access to advanced semiconductor chips. Unlike its Western counterparts who rely on abundant chip supplies, DeepSeek has achieved unparalleled cost efficiency, driving a price war among Chinese AI inference providers. These efficiencies underscore a broader trend in China's AI strategy, maximizing performance while minimizing dependency on high-end hardware. The firm's efficiency gains also highlight a potential vulnerability in US AI strategies, which depend heavily on advanced hardware, a luxury not afforded to Chinese developers, but one that has inadvertently driven innovation. The geopolitical backdrop further amplifies DeepSeek's significance. China's creation of an $8.2 billion national AI industry investment fund demonstrates its commitment to AI self-reliance, something we've been following for some time now and which we covered in depth earlier this week. This strategic pivot, coupled with initiatives by technology giants like Huawei to challenge NVIDIA's dominance in AI chips, underscores China's resolve to advance its AI capabilities despite external constraints. Globally, the implications of DeepSeek's rise are profound. While the US maintains a lead in cutting-edge models and semiconductor technology, the rapid diffusion of AI capabilities in China raises questions about the effectiveness of Washington's export controls. As Alphabet CIO Ruth Porat noted, quote, China's progress in democratizing basic AI capabilities could erode the West's lead, shifting the competitive balance, end quote. In a commoditized AI market, DeepSeek's cost advantage and open-source philosophy could redefine global AI dynamics, challenging entrenched hierarchies and fostering a more inclusive technological ecosystem. That is what some experts argue at least. Other experts, however, push back, saying that some of these points are overemphasized and that the West still enjoys a very significant lead. I guess only time will tell. Finally, for today, UK-based The Financial Times recently published a piece called How a Mao-Era System Creates Second-Class Citizens in Modern China. The Hukou system, China's household registration policy introduced in 1958, continues to shape the lives of its citizens, the outlet argues, often creating significant barriers for those without urban residency permits. For individuals like Kim, who was interviewed by the outlet, who grew up in Beijing without a Beijing Hukou, the system has profoundly influenced their opportunities and sense of belonging. Designed to control population movement from rural to urban areas, the Hukou system classifies citizens based on their birthplace, granting access to local education, healthcare, and social services. Urban Hukou, particularly in cities like Beijing and Shanghai, is highly coveted as it provides access to superior schools, stable government jobs, and better living conditions. However, for those with rural Hukou, these privileges remain out of reach. Kim's story, the outlet writes, exemplifies the system's inequalities. Despite spending her childhood in the capital, she was required to complete her education and take a Gaokao, China's university entrance exam, in her family's rural hometown. Her refusal to leave Beijing cost her access to higher education and drastically limited her career prospects. While some smaller cities have relaxed Hukou requirements to attract workers, major cities like Beijing and Shanghai maintain stricter criteria. Residents of these cities fiercely guard their privileges, and local governments are reluctant to bear the financial burden of integrating more migrants. Analysts argue that abolishing the Hukou system could spur economic growth by allowing more rural workers to access urban jobs and services, boosting consumption. However, the system remains deeply entrenched, serving as a tool for social control and maintaining elite privileges, especially for the powerful urban middle class. that live in these major cities. For now, the Hukou system continues to restrict opportunities and reinforce social divides for individuals like Kim. It raises profound questions of identity and belonging, challenging the idea of what it means to truly be part of the city they call home. Quote, "When people ask me where I'm from, I feel awkward," end quote, said Kim to the Financial Times, adding, quote, "I've grown up in Beijing, but I don't have a Beijing Hukou. Am I a Beijinger?" End quote. Okay, that is today's episode of China Update. Thank you so much everybody for watching. Have a good Wednesday, and I will see you all tomorrow.